pressures rise, building up inside, trying to break it down. But you come back stronger, ready to fight. Can't wait any longer. It's our time. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars to make you stronger than that. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars to make you stronger than that. Stronger than that.
Ethan Burrell, big spit by the 50-60s, it won't be enough. Chris Records on the back of Johnny Jones, who covered last Johnny. It's going to Victor Lane at the Kona scores the win. The home place beer company by
It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars that make you stronger than that. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars that make you stronger than that. Stronger than that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to the World Wide Technology Raceway, formerly known as Gateway, for the Pit Pass Network 150. I am Robert Hill, and joining me tonight back in the booth is Alex Nedd. We're here for 120 laps around this 1.25 mile short track here, and it's going to be 120 laps. We have 6 sets of tires, and our fuel window 65 to 70 laps. Alex, how are you feeling heading into this one?
This is an exciting one. One, because we have a race in the books now here. So with Joey Logano's win here in the real world, it's not so much unfamiliar territory for these drivers, but we should be in for an exciting one here tonight. I cannot wait to be taking a look at the last minute of qualifying here. Emerson with the 34.07. Both of those very good.
Yeah, absolutely. RC Anderson, like you mentioned, with the 34.07, same lap basically as Kwame Scott. Tyler Fode actually jumps to the top right there with a 34.06 as we are counting down the seconds here in qualifying. It's a great lap by Tyler Fode as our colleague here at the Elite Racing Network, Chris Wright, is on track. He goes 7th, so great lap for Chris. We just had a chat with him, and he's feeling pretty good, Alex.
Oh, he's very optimistic about his chances to visit victory lane, or at least get the top 3. He said he'll talk to us at the end of the race, and I definitely believe he means that if he can survive 150 laps. This might be, or we're coming down toward it, the last 15 seconds of this qualifying session.
Yeah, absolutely, and it does look like everyone that is going to take a time has taken a time here. A couple guys just making extra laps here. Justin Vandermeer on your screen now, and this right here in my regular number 2 machine, making his Elite Racing debut, that is Jonathan Cutlip. So welcome to Elite for that gentleman right there, as qualifying does wrap up with Tyler Fode on the pole here, as we will take a look at our points entering tonight here, Alex. We're getting close to chase racing, and it's time to see who's up there. And once again, our pole sitter, Tyler Fode, he has a commanding lead over Chad Frankenfield by 66 points.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive there. And you have to think, with a couple of wins already, I know he won the first one back. How many races have we ran at this point? 8. So about 2 months ago. It's crazy to think about how, as you mentioned there, Robert, that we really are only a couple of weeks away from playoff racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe, if I remember correctly, we only have about 4 races left in this regular season. So what you really want to keep an eye on is around that basically 12th to 18th spot, from myself all the way down to David Tooker. It is really close, separated by only about 15 points right now, separating being in the playoffs and being out. So it's going to be interesting to see who can make it in and who will, unfortunately, not make it to the playoffs. And another race we do have to keep an eye on here is our Rookie of the Year battle. That is led by my teammate in the number 12 machine for 21 Savage Autosport. That's Zachary Rogers. He currently leads by 9 points over one of the strongest rookies we've seen in a while here in Elite, Latham Joyner. So that's another thing that we're going to have to keep an eye on as the season goes on. But in this one, on the poll here, we do have Tyler Fody join alongside RC Anderson, the rookie Kwame Scott in third, with Shane Terry in fourth, David Tooker in fifth, Hank Steinmiller sixth, Josh Adams seventh, Chris Wright, who we spoke about earlier, in eighth, Chad Frankenfield ninth, and Nick Massey in 10th.
Yeah, just outside of the top 10, the 11 at, the 70 of Jesse Rasmussen in 11th, and Wesley Crump piloting the number 16. You're taking a look at the rest of the leaderboard. We're about one lap away, I believe. We're about to get this thing ready to go green here. Who do you like, Robert, as we go down the back straightaway?
Yeah, I think one guy we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on tonight is Kwame Scott. Kwame Scott starting third here, fresh off a victory just last week, I believe it was. He's done a great job here. He did a great job over in Erska, and he's one we're going to have to watch, Alex. But obviously, you know a lot of these guys as well as I do. Who's your pick to take the victory tonight?
Oh, this season, I do not have one, a favorite. I do not know, at least this early. I'm still trying to get my sea legs, as they say it, up under me. But coming out of turn number 4, Tyler Fody will lead them down. RC Anderson on his outside, the green flag in the air. We are racing. The Pit Pass Network 150 is green.
Absolutely. As we see the field go down 2 by 2 into turn number 1, RC Anderson just barely edging out Tyler Fody. Fody getting it back here. RC has a little bit of a moment there. Looks a little loose, as RC does currently have the advantage over Tyler Fody, but these two will go side by side once again into turn number 3 and 4, with Tyler Fody looking to have the advantage on the bottom, as Kwame Scott looking to make a move as well.
Yeah, turn 4 was we heard a driver trouble spot. Chris Wright, who we were speaking with just moments ago before the broadcast began, feels that might produce a big wreck here tonight, that turn 4. So nice to see these guys, for the most part, keeping it pretty safe and clean. But this is only lap 2 of a 120 featured event.
Absolutely. As Chris Wright mentioned, you see him here, Jesse Rasmus looking to make a move on his outside. We had a chance to speak with Chris pre-race, as we mentioned. He did mention turn 4 is going to be trouble, and he promised us we would see a 10-car pileup at some point tonight. So watch for that, and I don't know if we see that, we may have to have a chat with Chris Wright about seeing the future.
Yeah, that's very, very true. We'll have to see that. He also promised he would be talking to us later on tonight. He has a little bit of work to do. I believe he started 8th. He's lost a position. He's back to 9th currently.
Yeah, Chris Wright back in the 9th position, just down 1 spot early. Probably trying to get into a little bit of a rhythm here. One guy I do want to point out that's having to come from way back in the field is Tate Lytle, a former series champion in that number 56 days gone by Toyota for Pro Edge Racing. He started 33rd, currently running in the 31st position. So Tate's going to be one to watch as he tries to work his way up through the field. As we see Brent Jones going around on the backstretch.
Off the racing surface and keeps it pointed in the right direction.
Doesn't look like too much damage there. Just a bit of dirt on the side of that machine. He should be able to keep it moving. But definitely unfortunate for Brent Jones early on in this event. he was hoping for much better early, as we see Kwame Scott looking to make a move on the bottom of Tyler Fode for the lead.
Yes, and this is last week's winner, first time winner, trying to go for 2 in a row here early in his joinaps.com Cup Series career. As we had mentioned, a very nice fellow, and I did not know this, was the first, I believe, African-American to win a joinaps.com Cup Series.
Yeah,
So
and you know,
that was pretty cool.
he's among pretty good company. Looks like Harrison Talon has brought out our first yellow here tonight. We'll pull that up on the Whiskey Cast replay and take a look. But as I was mentioning, you know, Kwame Scott among good company with drivers such as Garrison Hogan, who was among the pro drivers this past season, beat him to a victory in the Cup Series. So Garrison's going to be looking for one next time he's out here. But taking a look at Harrison Talon here, that number 23 DoorDash machine on the inside of Ryan Gavel, looks like he just got loose, whips it back around and turns it into the inside wall to avoid hitting any other cars. Doesn't look like he'll have too much damage and should be able to carry on without too much issue, but unfortunate start as well for Harrison Talon.
Yeah, and that was pretty late in the corner or exit, should we say, when he got loose. So these guys fighting it a bit in the wheel just before that corner. And you've raced here before here, Robert. What is turn 4 and turn 2 like, where we're seeing some of these issues?
Yeah, I find these corners to be a little bit tight feeling on exit. They look fairly wide, but I believe the way the track goes, it kind of tightens up a little bit as you come off the corners, and that can create a bit of havoc, as we've seen so far with Brent Jones and there with Harrison Talon, and from our discussions with Chris Wright as well. I think that's definitely where we're going to see some issues tonight, is coming off of those corners.
All right, so our first caution is out. One car spin. Harrison Talon will be back on pit road, I believe, and yes, getting 4 fresh tires here. Pit road was open that time by, so our leaders electing to stay out.
That's correct. Yeah, the only cars to come down pit road there are Harrison Talon and Brent Jones. Alexander Gray was already on pit road, as well as Latham Joyner, who I believe may have parked already. Not sure what happened there, but he appears to be out of this race.
Sorry about that. My dog is Dega. Move. Our dog is climbing up on my bed, and I was trying to get there without causing a ruckus, but
Absolutely.
the broadcasting problems. Broadcasting from home. What can we say?
Absolutely. We're a dog-friendly show here, so more love to Dega as much as we can get. But while we are under caution here, Alex, let's just quickly give a shout out to some of our premier partners, beginning with TA Services. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing, and fulfillment, as well as cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. Let the TA Services team make ship happen for you. As well, we have to give a shout out to our partner Blue Egg Marketing, as you'll see on Tyler Fode's number 40 machine. Blue Egg Marketing is the marketing department for small businesses. Small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. And we have to give a shout out to our newest partner here, Brixi Cam. Brixi is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston. They are on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. Gone are the days of carrying around a tripod or selfie stick. They help their customers and users tell better stories around meaningful moments. They let anyone tap into nearby cameras to capture group memories at iconic places, as if users were controlling their own native camera app, except now from a perfectly positioned vantage point. Today you can find Brixi at well-known sports venues and cultural landmarks across 4 continents. Be sure to check out Brixi Cam for your next group photo. As we are about to get underway once again, Tyler Fode gets on the loud pedal and gets us going once again.
Yes, pace car is off. Looking inside the 95 there is the 50 of RC Anderson. He was our outside pole sitter. But Kwame giving him some fits down there. We have the 91 off the pace.
Johnny Thomas off track there. Doesn't bring out a yellow, but unfortunate for him, he will fall back quite a bit early on as Tyler Fody does continue to lead with RC Anderson kind of chasing down Kwame here.
Don't know exactly. Some arguing over the real east. Oh! RC Anderson
Oh!
turns 95 and around goes Kwame Scott. Nobody else gets into him and he drives it out of harm's way on the racetrack, but my goodness. Kwame Scott with an issue in our second caution quickly on the racetrack.
Yeah, let's take a look at that one here on the Whiskey Cast replay. Unfortunate for Kwame Scott in that 95 machine. He took heavy impact into that inside wall here. Take a look as he was side by side with RC Anderson.
And it looked like it was a case of misjudging as we watched from high above. He just trying to get behind him and has no idea. I can't imagine him. And this is a pretty significant hit for, is that the 19 David Tooker?
Yeah, that's David Tooker as well. He took a heavy impact in that one. Unfortunate for him. Doesn't look like anyone else did get a piece of that, but you know, that could spell the end of the night for some of those guys, such as Kwame Scott and David Tooker as well, as that's a heavy impact to the nose.
Definitely some time to fix, and the car will not be as drivable or as clean as the guys that have been able to keep their nose clean. But yeah, the 19, he's gonna put it down pit road here.
Absolutely. Definitely unfortunate there for David Tooker. I would expect to see Kwame Scott and RC Anderson coming down pit road. As you see Kwame coming down there as well.
RC Anderson was still on track. He's in turn 4 and he's making his way down on the access road. So yeah, all three involved in that accident going to turn their attention to really recovery at this point. See what they can salvage out of this day.
Absolutely, and definitely when it does come to that points picture, you know, we mentioned coming into this one, a couple guys, David Tooker on the outside looking in at this point. He needs the best points night he can get, so expect David Tooker to try to salvage something here despite the damage. Kwame Scott as well, not too far out, 14 points out of the playoffs entering this race, and he is gonna have to dig out from another hole.
Yeah. It's we have 4 more races, so a lot can still happen and change, but it is never too early to point race.
Absolutely. And Alex, just under the last caution, we mentioned our premier partners. We would be remiss to not mention our race presenting sponsor tonight, the Pit Pass Network. Pit Pass Network is your new home for all things NASCAR, from Q&As to driver interviews, from articles to in-depth discussions. Check out Pit Pass Network at pitpassnetwork.com for all your NASCAR needs. And this driver right here, Chris Wright, he's done some great interviews over on the Pit Pass Network that you can check out on the website. Today, he had discussions with the owners of Richmar Florists, as well as Corey LaJoy and Derek Kraus. So be sure to check those interviews out on the website and let them know what you think.
Some great work being done there to bring you an inside look at the world of NASCAR, what keeps us alive as a race fan throughout the week. And we appreciate you at home watching currently as we get the field side by side. That can only mean one thing, another restart here. The 40 car, he has led the most laps today, if not all of them, I believe.
I believe RC Anderson may have led 1 or 2 laps, but definitely Tyler Fody has been the commanding car so far. But he's going to have a new challenger right there in Josh Adams, driving that beautiful #1 GoPro machine for 21 Savage Autosport. That's a new livery on that car, and it's looking pretty spiffy.
They added a lap here don't know why. You can see the field is already side by side, so iRacing Control tends to frown upon that. They usually, if somebody's not in their spot and have to add a lap, that could be a penalty.
Absolutely. And just quickly, just going to make mention of Wyatt Canadal, driver of the number 84 machine. He is under the weather this evening and going to try to push through this thing. So kudos to Wyatt for trying to tough it out. And if we do see him go down pit road randomly, it is likely because he is not feeling well.
Good to see the 84 car there give it his all.
Absolutely. Good friend of yours, eh, Alex?
Yeah. Yes, I've met Wyatt a couple of times, and proud to know that nice young man, and I'm sad to hear that he is not feeling well.
Absolutely.
He gets a good finish. You know what remedies that? A good finish. Hopefully.
Absolutely, and I hope he does get one. Unfortunately, I've caused a few wrecks for him as Tyler Fody gets back on the loud pedal and gets us underway once again here, Alex.
Yeah, that restart a little bit late, and quite a big jump on the outside lane there. Some mind games being thrown on the one of Adams.
Look at the 63 Hank Steinmiller up there. He's been quiet so far, but he's worked his way up into that second position. As you see, Josh Adams with Shane Terrian and Chad Frankenfield battling side by side behind him in those beautiful pink machines for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
I'm telling you, Josh Adams in that one car had a moment entering turn 3. He threw it in there, kept it up under him. Maybe that's what new tires will get you. But these guys, actually, by my count, they've not been on pit road, so we do know, what do you call it? The pit road, the fuel window here is about 65 to 70 laps. They will have to at least go down once for fuel.
Absolutely, and you know most of these guys are going to try to stretch it as best as they can, especially after last week seeing that the race was basically won on pit strategy. Kwame Scott went, I believe it was over 100 laps on old tires, and he was able to make that work. So guys are going to want to try it tonight, but this track is more of a cheese grater on those tires than the last track. As you see, Dan Martinez have a moment there.
Yes, he did. Right in front of Jesse Rasmus in the 70. And then there's your car.
Yeah, it's a little weird to see my own car out there. That is Jonathan Cutlip making his elite debut here tonight behind the wheel of my number 2 Roasted Gem Chevrolet for 21 Savage Autosport, doing a nice job early on, and I wish him the best of luck. But yeah, that was one heck of a moment for Dan Martinez.
Yes, it was. Thankfully, it was just that, though, a moment. And did not further any more attention other than the bit it did grab right there. Side by side, though, it is ferocious. I've often been told that the back of the pack is not where you want to be. That seems to be quite the case right now. Currently, these guys there are battles all over this racetrack.
Absolutely. As you saw 4 wide for a moment there.
My goodness, they were 4 wide.
That was
23 Harrison Talon.
Yeah, that was Harrison Talon along with Dustin Dewar, RC Anderson, and Kwame Scott. Those guys are battling back from their earlier incident here, but that was 4 wide, and what a moment.
Oh my goodness. Whoever that was just behind them nicked the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. That was definitely sketchy for those guys as Tyler Fody continues to lead and build on that lead. Almost 9/10 of a second now over Hank Steinmiller, who has Josh Adams right behind him and ready to pounce at any moment.
Ooh, Josh Adams, he drove it in deep, trying to get Steinmiller, excuse me, who's doing a great job. We would mention him as a sleeper. He's made his way up to second.
Yeah, Hank's one of those guys, he doesn't usually make himself known until later in this thing. He just quietly creeps up and up and up, and all of a sudden he's there, as we see right now, in second place and trying to chase down Tyler Fody. But Tyler Fody, I think he found that SpaceX rocket booster that landed earlier today and took off.
He has certainly put a whooping, a full second now on the field. his closest competition. Steinmiller back in second place. Oh, we got trouble in the 60 car. That brings out our third caution out of turn number 2. Joey Chapman bringing it around. And we are under caution quickly again for the third time. Let's take a look and see what happened here. We heard turn number 2, a self-spin area. See the 84 not directly behind him, and yes, this will be a self-spin. He collects the cone.
Took out the cone, but that's about it.
No further damage, though, on the race car. If you're going to loop it, that's not what you hope for.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to spin out, I'm just glad that nobody else gets involved. As we see our leaders coming down pit road here, looks like pretty much everybody, with the exception of Chad Frankenfield and Shane Terrian, actually, as well as Chris Wright, our friend that we had a chance to talk to earlier.
Well, yeah, we'll see what tires means as we get our first really split strategy. Tyler Fody going to bring down and be the first on pit road to collect new tires on lap 24.
Definitely an interesting call to split off from the rest of the field. I believe, you know, they do have 6 sets of tires. They started with 1, had 5 in the pits for 120 laps. So they have lots of rubber to play with tonight. As you see the race off pit road here, Tyler Fody beats Hank Steinmiller. That's Josh Adams, Dan Martinez, Jesse Rasmus, and Jonathan Cutlip. The race off pit road there. But Tyler Fody will come out in the 11th position. So it'll be interesting to see how quickly he can get through the guys on the older tires.
Yes. We'll quickly see what new rubber means for these guys as the 15 of Chad Frankenfield takes over the lead for the first time here today.
Absolutely. And you see on Chad Frankenfield's car, he has the pink in his numbers. That is for Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October. Beautiful pink livery on that number 15, kicking the tires forward for Little Eagle Racing. And you see some pink on Shane Terrian's number 83 machine as well right there. So nice to see these guys putting some pink on their cars for a great cause.
Yeah. Very, very cool to see our real world modern into this very virtual world. I often say our racing community, it does not matter virtual, in person. It's a tight-knit community, and it's cool to see that come through on these race cars.
Absolutely. And I do want to quickly just point out in the back of the picture that we just saw here, that is the 95 of Kwame Scott. Kwame, after his earlier incident from running in the top 2, is now back to the 5th position, just ahead of Trey Holmes and just behind Nick Massey. So Kwame Scott definitely got lucky with that caution coming out there to have the opportunity to come back up and get right back with the field, as he last pit lap 12. So
as badly damaged as what we saw.
Yeah,
he got spun around.
His car is actually looking okay, Alex. I thought it would have been much worse because he had a heavy impact with that wall, but you know, I think Kwame might be okay.
We'll have to find out. I believe we've gotten the one to go signal.
Yes, the lights are off on the iRacing pace car. He will come down this time by Chad Frankenfield and Shane Terry in the front row, with Chris Wright and Nick Massey hungry right behind them.
Massey, Scott, we were just mentioning their homes. Canadal and Thomas, Hodges, and then Fody, the first on newer tires on that outside lane, their 4th row.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what Tyler Fody can do, especially starting on that outside row. He may be able to get a nice little jump on the restart and work his way back up here, but I think Chad Frankenfield's going to want to lead a handful of laps here. He hasn't had the opportunity to do that too much this season, and you know this guy wants to lead as many as he can.
Yep. still looking for that first win there. Did not get one last season, and knows desperately wants to get that off his back here as we see this paced car head in the 15, going to elect the inside lane. He's late and then back on the loud pedal, back underway here at Gateway.
That was a great jump there for Chad Frankenfield as you watch Shane Terrian and Chris Wright battling for that second position here, side by side with Kwame Scott and Nick Massey right behind them. Shane gets the advantage here as they come off of turn 2 and head into turn 3 here. But Shane's actually getting a little bit of a run towards the back bumper of Chad Frankenfield.
Yes. Did not work out though for Wright in the 57 there, who lost third place to who is that he is fighting there? Sorry.
Nick Massey. And actually Trey Holmes coming into the picture now. Trey up to 5th with Kwame Scott going 3 wide through the middle, saying this is my turn here, buddy.
Yeah.
So
how crazy it is to see Kwame Scott up there.
Oh,
damage.
3 wide.
40 of Foley gets into it. That was aggressive entering turn number 3. They're still side by side. They are still arguing over release date.
These guys are pushing hard, as you saw Tyler Fody 3 wide just moments ago with Trey Holmes and Johnny Thomas. Tyler Fody trying to work his way back up there on those fresh tires, see what he can get, but Kwame Scott just looks a little bit stronger than these guys right now as he finds himself going around Chris Wright for that 4th position right now.
Yeah, not seeing Fody or at least the new tires play a huge dividend or advantage, excuse me, for the 40 car just yet. He's only gained 2 positions, making 3 at the line there.
Yeah, Fody has gained just a few spots, but oh, that was close.
Right, barely hangs on after contact with Holmes.
Oh, Fody around.
Oh my goodness, and he is hard into the inside wall and no caution. Oh,
Alexander Gray crashed as well in the back. Tyler Fody went around, and we will take a look at that on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened to Tyler Fody.
This is quite interesting.
As you can see, Tyler Fody in the 40 machine on the contact just ahead. Trey Holmes into the side of Chris Wright, and you see Tyler Fody in that 40 Blue Egg marketing machine just coming below them here. Looks like he gets into the side of Chris Wright and into the inside wall he goes.
Yes, Wright had that moment though. He had this a second correction just right on the exit, just ahead of that, and Foley could not avoid him. So,
and while we were looking at that, Alex, the caution has come out. So we'll take a quick look. That may have involved Chris Wright potentially. We'll just take a quick look, because I do see he has lost a handful of spots here.
Down the back stretch.
Oh, no, that was Jesse Rasmus. We'll take a quick look at Jesse Rasmus here on the Whiskey Cast replay.
Turn into the outside wall by the 30.
Take a look here. Jesse Rasmus, that number 70 machine, just ahead of the 90 car of Scott Crump, gets turned right up into the wall across Josh Hodges. Nobody else gets into that one. That's a shocker, but that could have been real bad.
That did look real bad. Thankfully, this virtually as well. We've heard some impacts, rear impacts. These cars, that would have been nasty had that been in real life. But this is virtual, so no harm, no foul, but not gonna aid his ability to get to victory lane.
Absolutely, as you do see Chris Wright now coming down pit road, getting that car fixed up from his bit of contact there with Tyler Fody. Fody also on pit road. He does have rear end damage from hitting the wall, as well as some right side damage. But Chad Frankenfield has stayed out along with Shane Terry and Nick Massey, Kwame Scott, Ryan Gavel, Dan Martinez, Tate Lytle, Johnny Thomas, Josh Adams, and Hank Steinmiller. Your current top 10, lap 33 of 120, caution number 4.
Yes, and I'm not so sure that as we are at moments away from going to commercial break here for a second. I'm sorry. Were we going to commercial?
No, we're good right now.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Man, and there I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, y'all. The brain injury that I had is showing up. Lap 34 of 120 here.
You know what, Alex? We're just happy to have you back here. It'll come back to you as time goes on, the more you get into it. This is only your second broadcast of the season, so it's going to take a while to get back into the swing of it, but we know that you're going to be one of the strongest on this network in no time.
Well, I'm hoping so. Strongest right now is that 15 who stays out on pit strategy. He has yet to go down the field, or go down pit road, excuse me. And I believe neither has the 83 or the 48.
Yeah, the only 3 currently to have not pit in this event is Chad Frankenfield, Shane Terrian, and Nick Massey, the top 3. Kwame Scott, I think he wouldn't have pit had he not been in that earlier incident. His last pit stop, his only pit stop, came on lap number 12 when he was involved in that earlier caution. But yeah, Chad Frankenfield leading this thing early on.
That is interesting, because to me, we really did not see those fresh tires drive up and really contend with these guys.
Yeah, and it kind of got those guys that took the tires involved in some incidents. As we saw Tyler Fody in an earlier incident, he's all the way back here in 31st, just behind Chris Wright, who we spoke with earlier, as well as Wyatt Knadel and Rusty Capel, way back there towards the rear of the field. It'll be interesting to see now how far up they can get, and if they can get up to the front once again.
Yeah, that is interesting to me. You would think, though, with newer tires, they would just have better luck, but right now, just not seeing that, at least for the top 3 here so far.
Absolutely, and it's going to be interesting to see what Shane Terrian can do on the front row on this restart. Shane looked fairly strong on the last one, and I think if he can get a good start here, he might have something for Chad Frankenfield, as pace car is getting ready to turn off here just momentarily to get this thing underway once again.
Yep, cleaning up our 4th caution of the day. Putting the field back in the hands of Chad Frankenfield. Late in the Geico restart zone, he fires off. We're back underway, working lap 35 of 120.
Yeah, great jump there by Chad Frankenfield once again. And as we look just behind him, we do have a bit of a battle here with Shane Terry and Nick Massey and Kwame Scott, but Dan Martinez and Ryan Gavel are joining the party as well, trying to work their way through these Sky Motorsports teammates to try to get to the front and have something for Chad, as we see Dan Martinez working the high side here.
Yes, first time this 33 car seems to be in control. We saw him have a moment early on in this race where he was out of control in turn number 2. So they seem to have that issue, though, currently.
Yeah, Dan looking pretty good early on. He's he always finds his strength, as we see Nick Massey have a moment.
We saw one car spinning. Yes, the 7 car. Caution. That was a big hit out of turn 2. Sorry, out of the corner of my eye there, Robert.
Good catch.
Go around.
As we take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay, we're going to need some whiskey by the end of this one. We see Josh Hodges in that number 7 machine on the outside of Trevor Elam and Andrew Rucker. Looks like Rucker is going to come up and get into the side of Hodges. Hodges maybe overcorrects into the outside wall, grabs a big chunk of that, comes across, gets hit by RC Anderson. RC with an assist there, getting Josh ahead of Justin Vandermeer. to avoid contact there, and Josh will end up in that infield grass. But unfortunate for Josh Hodges and potentially RC Anderson once again, as he did get a piece of that number 7 machine.
Yep, that will require, I imagine, a tow back to pit road, and there was some heavy damage once he corrected it into the outside wall right there. Might have a broken toe link on that race car. Definitely some required repairs.
Absolutely.
On the right side of that car.
Absolutely. As you see that number 7 machine, kind of looks like his nose may be hanging a little bit more than usual. So that is not a good look for that number 7 car.
Nope. Makes it for a long night.
Absolutely. At the point of the season where these guys are looking for every possible point, that's definitely unfortunate for Josh Hodges. But lucky for RC Anderson, he does have quite a cushion in the points to help him remain above that that cutoff spot.
Never too late in the season to be thinking about these points. You saw those championship standings kind of flash by there. Don't know if we kept it there long enough, but
yeah, we can take a look once again. As we mentioned earlier, our points leader is Tyler Fody, currently leading over Chad Frankenfield by 66 points. Then it's Shane Terrian, our second place car here tonight, just behind him, with Josh Clark in 4th. Josh Clark currently running in position number, let's find Josh Clark in the field.
Ooh, just about 17th.
Yeah, Josh Clark way back here in that number 28 machine. Just behind him is Matthew Weeks. Matthew is not here tonight as he is away in Hawaii. So Matthew may be the big winner out of all of us here tonight, as he's sitting on the beach. And then we have Johnny Thomas, Hank Steinmiller, RC Anderson, Ryan Gavel, and Wyatt Canadle, the top 10, with the rest of our current chase field being Jesse Rasmus, myself, Scott Crump, and Chris Wright by 1 point over Nick Massey and 2 over Tate Lytle. So another thing we do have to point out here is Nick Massey finds himself currently in 3rd, while Chris Wright is all the way back in 24th. So as of right now, Chris Wright is on the outside looking in, as his teammate has passed him for that last chase spot.
Ooh, going to need every point counts here, and you're going to be needing more of that where he is running. We are going to take a quick break, so don't go anywhere. The action just now getting heating up here at Virtual Gateway. Here we have one lap, but we'll be right back. Alrighty, getting set for the restart. 5th one of the night. Frankenfield, the 83 of Darian and the Massey, who have not yet been to pit road, back are in control of this race. Green flag, back out. Oh, the outside lane stacks up. The 83 car did not get going at all. And there is still more contact entering turn number 1.
Wow, that was quite the contact there. As we see 3 wide, looks like Dan Martinez gets a piece of the wall there. Alex, as the 83, like you mentioned, did not get going, and Dan Martinez, he was going anyways. And
Yeah.
little bit of contact into turn number 1. Looked like maybe a bit of net code, which could have saved both of those guys from potentially going around. But Dan Martinez definitely the big loser in that moment as he falls back just a little bit to 4th place currently, into the clutches of Kwame Scott and Ryan Gavel for 4th place.
Man, that was definitely a moment as we see the 01 car get a piece of the wall as well.
Ryan Gavel there in that beautiful number 01 Go Ryan sponsor machine. Looks like Josh Adams sliding up a little bit there, almost makes contact with the 01. That would have been a big mess of O's and ones.
Yes, that would have. There can only be one.
Absolutely.
Thankfully, we're not talking about 2.
Absolutely. As we see Dan Martinez up into the side of Shane Terrian.
Yes, who continues to free fall.
Oh, right in the back,
goes
Ryan Gavel.
I think, was that Tate Lytle that also got a piece of it? We stay under the green flag. Wow. Ryan Gavel lost it in turn number 2. And somebody else as well. They were able to keep it going. This is underneath the green flag, 1 lap ago.
Taking a look at the 01, looks like he gets hit by that 1 car potentially. No, maybe a little bit of contact there. Yeah, and around goes Ryan Gavel. Tate Lytle does a nice job. Oh, my car.
No, I believe Tate, or was it?
That was the 2 machine of Jonathan Cutlip there. Does a nice job, a little bit of contact with the 17 of Hunter Smith, but everyone able to continue on. That could have been much, much worse than what it was, as these guys do continue under the green. Nick Massey now charging down towards Chad Frankenfield with Daniel Martinez in 3rd, Shane Terry in 4th, and Kwame Scott in 5th.
Daniel Martinez in the 33, the freshest of a guys with tires inside that top 5. Trying to use that to his advantage here. See, elects to chase the 2 people in front of him who have not yet been on pit road.
Yeah, as you see now, Daniel Martinez made that pass on Nick Massey. Daniel Martinez to 2nd now, charging down Chad Frankenfield. As we see on the scoring tower, that time keeps going down and down. Daniel Martinez coming with a head of steam here, already down to just over 1/10 of a second. As we head into the corner, they're going to be nose to tail. Daniel Martinez in that number 33 Gatorade machine. He's coming for the lead.
Doing it very impressively. He cut down about half a second in between for the last 2 laps.
Absolutely. Daniel Martinez just really pushing it here, trying to catch Chad Frankenfield so he can make a move and get by him here. I think he's going to have to set this up, Alex, so they don't end up wrecked or out of this race, really.
He's doing a good job so far, kind of stalking the 15, though. Putting his car right where it needs to be and to try and control this race.
Yeah, Chad's doing a really nice job on those old tires. I mean, Dan Martinez pit on lap number 23, so his tire's about 26 lap old as he dives to the inside here. To the inside of Chad Frankenfield, they almost make contact.
Yes.
Daniel Martinez, heck of a moment here. As Hank Steinmiller into the wall hard. Looks like that car may be broken.
He keeps it out of harm's way, or at least nobody else runs into him. But yes, a big moment for the 63, who continues to ride the wall in turn 3.
Yeah, looks like Hank will not be able to make it down to pit road here. He's going to have to do another lap to make it around, and that right front is broken. We may potentially be looking at caution number 6 with Hank Steinmiller absolutely broken.
I think he'll try to get it on the pit road here this next time, but yes.
Just a quick look here at Daniel Martinez. After that little slide there. He is back in the 7th position behind Josh Adams and just ahead of Zachary Rogers, one of our rookies here in the series, currently running in the 8th position. But that was a moment for Dan Martinez, Alex.
Yes, and obviously bigger than what we had captured live.
Absolutely. As we currently take a look, Chad Frankenfield leads by 0.7 of a second over Nick Massey, who is now under fire by that number 56 machine of Pro Edge driver Tate Lytle. Tate up 30 spots from the start in 3rd position currently, with Kwame Scott and Shane Terrian rounding out the top 10 currently, but Shane under fire here from Josh Adams, with Dan Martinez now.
Whoa, the one almost loops it, keeps it out of harm's way. My goodness, Adams going for the slip and slide.
What a moment there, as we see Michael Goodman slow on the backstretch. Caution is out here.
Trouble ahead of these guys. One car in the backstretch we saw looped around.
As we take a look to see what brought out our latest caution here, looks to be potentially Wesley Crump. Wesley Crump in the number 16 Stay Tuned Racing machine, currently on the outside of Trevor Elam. Take a look. Looks like RC had a little bit of a slide up ahead, which may have triggered this. No, Michael Goodman.
And just that little bit of contact and hesitation forced the who was that behind the 16 into him?
That was Trevor Elam, Alex. We'll take another look here. I want to see what happened to Goodman. We'll take another quick look here.
Yeah, Goodman looked like he just got loose by himself here.
Goodman gets loose, comes back up the track, and then that sets this off. Wesley Crump, Trevor Elam, both heavy impact here.
Well, I think the 29 didn't hit anything, but the 16 definitely. 29 might be okay here.
You know what, Alex? I think you're right. Yeah. The little bit of contact there with Wesley Crump, I think that might be the only... Wow. Trevor Elam got lucky. Yeah. He could have nailed the opening on that wall. I do want to point out that while we were taking a look at this, they did come down pit road, and our new race leader is Tate Lytle. Tate Lytle now leads over Chad Frankenfield, with Nick Massey, Kwame Scott, Dan Martinez, your top 5, with Scott Crump, Josh Adams, Zach Rogers, Josh Clark, and Andrew Rucker, the rest of the top 10. Everybody has now made a pit stop, and it looks like your top 25 are on the same pit strategy at this point.
So, and those were all 4-tire stops, or did the 56 use strategy there?
Tate was in 2nd place at the time of the caution. I do believe he took a 4-tire stop. We may be incorrect on that, but I do believe Tate did take a 4-tire stop. I'll see if I can take a look and find his pit time and compare that to Chad Frankenfield and just see if he did end up taking 4 tires.
Anyway, he won the race off of pit road here and will be the leader.
Yeah, so it does look like Tate Lytle did take 4 tires. He had a pit time from start to finish of 45.10 seconds compared to Chad's 46.15. So very slim margin between those two, but that's the difference between 1st and 2nd.
Whoa. And you see what it pays. 15's going to have to now react to the 56 instead of being in control of this race.
Absolutely, Alex. And as we are under caution number 6, this is a good time to shout out our premier partners once again. And we'll start off this time with Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg Marketing is the marketing department for small businesses. Small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. Constraints catalyze creativity. That is Blue Egg Marketing. TA Services. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing, and fulfillment, as well as cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. Let the TA Services team make ship happen for you. And Brixi Cam. Brixi is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston on a mission to reimagine the group photo experiences. Gone are the days of carrying around a tripod or selfie stick. They help their customers and users tell better stories around meaningful moments. Brixi Cam allows people to tap into nearby cameras to capture group memories at iconic places, as if users were controlling their own native camera app, except now from a perfectly positioned vantage point. Today, you can find Brixi at well-known sports venues and cultural landmarks around 4 continents. As well, we do have to shout out Pit Pass Network, the presenting sponsor of the Pit Pass Network race here tonight. Pit Pass Network is your new home for all things NASCAR, from Q&As to driver interviews, NASCAR articles, and in-depth coverage. Be sure to check out pitpassnetwork.com. As the pace car is about to make that sharp left-hand turn, Tate Lytle and Chad Frankenfield are going to get us underway here, Alex.
Yep, Tate Lytle can elect to go at any point once inside the Geico restart zone. And he does so, firing off and away the 15, Chad in hot pursuit.
Absolutely, as we see Chad Frankenfield able to break free of 3rd and 4th here, making a nice transition into 2nd place, as we do see the battle on just a little further back in this one, as we see Josh Adams to the inside of Daniel Martinez with his teammate Zach Rogers right behind him. Dan able to get the little bit of a jump there and clear Josh Adams, as it's single file for the most part. Yellow flag is out in the back.
Number 7 quickly flying. I would expect turn 3 to be and 4 to be the victim, or claim our latest victims. We see what happened here.
Yeah, we'll take a look. It may have been around Trevor Elam. I do see a few cars have passed him since the restart. We see 3 wide just ahead of him. I think, yeah, it may have been right there. Contact between Alexander Gray, I do believe that was, and Michael Honsack. Potentially.
Oh,
there it is.
Comes back up into the 18, who pulls around.
I do apologize. That is actually Joshua Personette in the 18 machine, not Alexander Gray. Personette will take another quick peek here. Josh Personette absolutely got some heavy damage in that one. Looks like he may have come down into Michael Hossack there, Alex. I don't know if
Hossack just drives it in.
Yeah, Hossack just comes right back into him. And around goes Josh Personette up into Trevor Elam.
Maybe did not like that at all and let some frustration get 2 cars now torn up.
Yeah, unfortunately, that definitely did a number on the number 29 machine of Trevor Elam. He is now on pit road. Looks like he's going to try to get that thing fixed up here, but I don't know if he'll be able to do so, as he's been in 2 decent wrecks here.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Tate Lytle able to keep the lead there, and all thanks to that pit stop there. Control of this race. We see Steinmiller get a lap back.
Yeah, as we see Hank Steinmiller, like you mentioned, getting his lap back. That's a little surprising to see after just a few moments ago. We did see him broken in the outside wall, doing a whole lap trying to get to pit road to repair his right front, and looks like he got the opportunity, and now he's back on lead lap.
Has to make up some track position, though. We'll see how well a damaged race car, because he had hit that wall a ton.
Absolutely. Any sort of impact, Alex, can definitely do a number on these cars. But fortunately, with this next-gen car, it can take a little bit more impact than the previous versions of the Cup car, which definitely helps these guys last a little bit longer on track. Guys such as Hank Steinmiller, he had a decent impact and able to carry on. So good for Hank. He's back on lead lap, and we'll see what he can do.
Yeah.
as we are actually at the halfway point of this event.
Interesting to point out here, this race is going by quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. We are only just under 1 hour into the event. Lap 60 of 120, caution number 7. And you know, these have not been big wrecks, Alex. We haven't seen any 10-car pileups like Chris Wright mentioned to us earlier. But
That's true, Chris.
we have seen a couple 1 and 2 car spins, and a couple guys get collected, as we see Chris Wright here. Chris currently back in the 14th position for Lake Norman Motorsports in his KMP graphics car. But Chris, we have not seen that 10-car pileup yet.
We'll have to get him back. We should just interview him no matter where he finishes. Have his comments on that. We were promised a 10-car wreck. No, I'm joking.
Absolutely. And when we do get another caution, we will actually bring Chris Wright up here, have a quick chat with him, see how his race is going, and see if he anticipates that big wreck still happening as the lights are off on the pace car here, Alex. And we're about to get going green once again.
Yep. Interesting enough, the 56 will elect to start on the outside. I think that's the first time we've seen the leader take the outside this time by.
Yeah, I believe that is the first time we've seen the leader on the outside. Chad may have taken it once at one point during a run of a couple cautions, but as of right now, it is Tate Lytle. He is on the high side with Nick Massey behind him, leaving Chad Frankenfield and Kwame Scott on the inside line here, as the pace car is getting ready to make that sharp left-hand turn onto pit road to set us free once again.
Want to point out these guys can make it if they decide to pit now all the way to the finish. That fuel window is officially open. The 56 car back on the loud pedal. We are back under the green flag here at Gateway. Side by side as they enter turn number 1 for second place there. The 56 got a pretty clean restart there.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a fairly clean restart for Tate Lytle. He's able to jump out to a 0.2 of a second lead. Actually, Chad Frankenfield charging now. Chad looking pretty sporty here early on, Alex, as we do have an incident in the back. Caution's out. It looks like Y Canadal, Alex Gray, David Tucker.
Oh, this is going to collect numerous cars here. We saw one still on the wall, or at least by it.
Taking a look on the Whiskey Cast replay, I did see David Tucker went off track, but it may have been connected to the incident up ahead, as we see Y Canadal at the top of your screen. It's into the rear of Shane Terrian. Terrian comes back up, sending Y Canadal into Michael Goodman. Canadal around.
Into Gavel.
Vandermeer. Vandermeer gets hooked.
Oh, and who is that there? The 21.
Justin Vandermeer. Oh.
And Jesse
Rasmus as well.
That could have, by my calculations, that could have been 10 cars there.
Definitely very close to a 10-car wreck. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to bring up Chris Wright, and we'll have a quick chat with him. Chris Wright, it's Robert and Alex up in the booth. You got a copy on us, buddy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Well, you had predicted it. We had talked about it on air, the 10-car wreck, turn 3 and 4, and it looked like that could have been it.
Yeah, it's pretty rough out here. I had some track position, and the 88 decided to take that away from us. I was glad we didn't get wrecked, trying to drive our way back up through here. We're pretty good. It's kind of hectic out here, though. I'm telling you, these cars are really loose off the corner, and guys are trying to just step on the gas way too hard.
Yeah, Chris, are the exits of these corners as bad as you had mentioned to us pre-race? I mean, we've seen a few 1 or 2 car spins coming off the corners, but overall, it hasn't seemed to be too bad. But how are you feeling out there?
I don't feel like it's that bad if you're patient. Like, you hurt yourself if you try to jump in it too quick. Now that I said that, you watch, I'll be the next self-spin here and look like a big dummy. But if you're patient with the throttle and everything, it's not too bad. The hardest part about it back in traffic is getting moved around in the air. It's not as bad as the IndyCar, but you go from dirty air to clean air back to dirty air. The car is changing every time you change what kind of air you're in.
Well, that's
It's really tight in dirty air, and then as soon as you get out of it, it's really loose. And if you try to run the bottom underneath the, I guess that's a seam down there. If you put anything underneath that seam, it's ice down on the bottom lane in 1 and 2.
So these are real life track conditions here, as diagnosed by Chris Wright, driver of the 57. Don't want to keep you here too long here, but do you think you have what it takes to make your way back up to the front?
Oh yeah, we've got the car's good enough. I feel like I'm good enough. I really enjoy this track combination. It's just about missing the wrecks and hoping, the guy that's going to go to your inside takes care of you and doesn't abuse you. But the Kendall Noah Player Designs Chevrolet here is it's really good tonight. As you can tell, we were able to drive through traffic. I hate that I collected my teammate Fody in it. I know he's back here behind me somewhere coming through the traffic. He's just not had as good of a run through traffic as I've had.
Tyler should line up about 2 cars behind you on the outside row. He is currently P16, Chris. Yeah,
I hate that I collected him. I'm glad we got away with it, but that was super frustrating by that 88 car. It's just he told me he locked his tires up, but when you drive in that deep, everybody here knew he wasn't going to get stopped into the corner. Like, that was not going to work. I think that's why I didn't wreck, is because I was able to see it and start moving up before I got hit. Because he hit me in the worst spot there on the left rear and really got me sideways.
I don't know if we actually captured that alive, so that's an incident that we'd have to we did not see. So our apologies for missing that.
Yeah, and I know you guys got to move me back right here real quick, but I know I've told you this in private, Alex, but it is such a pleasure to have you back here. We missed you when you were gone, and hopefully you're here with us for a long, long time to come.
Thank you. I appreciate that there, Chris Wright, and I hope you have a good race. Hope you're talking to us in victory lane here when it all is said and done.
All right, good luck, guys.
There's Chris Wright, driver of the 57, Alex. Good to talk to him, as pace car is going to take that left-hand turn here.
Field back in the hands of Tate Lytle, the defending series champ. Looking for that first W of the season. Back underneath the green flag, and we're back underway here at Gateway.
Absolutely great jump by Tate Lytle to get out in front of Chad Frankenfield. Chad dealing with Kwame Scott and Nick Massey right behind him, but so far it looks like Tate has a very strong piece, but Chad keeps charging back on these restarts. Doesn't get the best jump, but once we get going, he's right there.
Doing a good job so far. And most of the field single filing itself out, at least amongst the top 10. Some double wide action right there.
As we see here, the first double wide is Chris Wright side by side with Johnny Thomas. Right behind them is Hunter Smith and RC Anderson. Those guys trying to push their way back forward here, as Chris is able to clear now as Johnny Thomas is side by side with Hunter Smith.
Yep, but let's not get snookered on some strategy here. That underneath that last caution, people could have topped off back here. They're probably lucky not to come back down pit road. So these guys up front have not been back down on pit road here, but you have to wonder, are they planning on doing so?
Yeah, strategy's definitely going to come into play here tonight, as these guys do their best to deal with the strategy to try to work their way up. I mean, yes, we have had a lot of cautions, but this is not the easiest track to pass these guys and work your way up, as we see side-by-side battle now here for second place between Kwame Scott and Chad Frankenfield.
Yes, but are we expected to go green the entire time?
I definitely don't think so. I mean, the racing so far definitely would not suggest that, but you really never know. They could clean it up sometimes on tracks such as this where you really don't expect it. We have Trey Holmes off track here doing a little bit of lawn mowing.
Ooh, Keeps it going in the right direction, though.
Yeah, unfortunately for Trey, though, he will rejoin the field back in the 29th position. So he's going to have his work cut out for him if he wants a chance to get back up here. But currently it is Tate Lytle leading over Kwame Scott and Chad Frankenfield, with Nick Massey and Scott Crump, the top 5 currently. Just a little bit into the picture here, I do see that number 12 machine. That is Zachary Rogers, one of our rookies here in the Elite Racing League, battling with his teammate Josh Adams for the 7th spot. So nice job so far by our rookies, Zach Rogers and Kwame Scott, both up inside that top 10.
If you had told me that Kwame Scott would be back inside the top 5 at all after that wreck, he had to bring out our second caution, I would have said, what do you have in? I would like some, but I cannot believe he's driven this car back up to the second position here.
You know, Alex, I chose Kwame Scott for a reason as my race pick. I've had the opportunity to race with him over in Erska, which a lot of the guys here in Elite do run, and he's been one of the best drivers that I've seen on track. He is strong pretty much everywhere, and we're seeing that again tonight as Kwame Scott is up there in the second position, just 0.3 of a second behind Tate Lytle, and just a bit ahead of Chad Frankenfield. Both very strong drivers in their own right, and Kwame Scott's here making a name for himself.
Yep, and did so excellently, might I add, last week, earning his first win. As we see, the 60 have an issue at a turn 2. That's Joey Chapman.
That is actually the second time we've seen Joey Chapman off track in that same area of the track. So that is his kryptonite here tonight, as Kwame Scott might be Tate Lytle's kryptonite, as he is on the rear bumper of that number 56 Days Gone By machine.
Tried to get there, but clean air means something. You put your car just right in the way. Seems like that unless things get physical, which they might, between the 95 and the 56 car and the 15, it's a 3-car affair for the top spot.
Absolutely. As you see these guys all together under a blanket here, as in the rear of the field, just a note for you keeping score at home, Michael Goodman has come down pit lane. I believe he may have a bit of damage. He's getting fixed. He is back in the 33rd position, but Chad Frankenfield actually falling a little bit behind these guys. Hunter Smith is off track midfield. He is in the backstretch right here where Joey Chapman was as well.
We knew that turn 2 would be a self-spin area where guys just trying to get back in the gas. Kwame doing all he can to get around this 56 car.
As we see another battle here, Tyler Fody side by side with Chris Wright. That's for the 11th spot, but jumping back up to the front, it is Kwame Scott chasing down Tate Lytle, and Chad Frankenfield does not want anyone to count him out at this point, as he just keeps charging back and charging back into this thing. He is right there, but I think Kwame's going to try to take this here very soon, as he won't want to sit behind Tate too long.
Toyota, Chevy, Ford, all represented inside the top 3 here.
Absolutely, as we see a couple Fords, a Toyota behind, and another Ford. Scott Crump actually up here for the first time tonight in that 5th position. He's been fairly quiet. He got in one incident earlier, but Scott Crump is here to play.
Yep, and just behind him you see the 33 car, Daniel Martinez, who's had a couple of issues here tonight as well, but he's been able to overcome them. Not overcome the track position, though. He did lose second. We have not seen him back up fighting for the lead though since.
Absolutely, and we did see a really strong start out of Daniel Martinez. We may still see that as we have about 43 laps to go here at World Wide Technology Raceway. That takes some getting used to here, but Daniel Martinez still up in 6th with Zachary Rogers right behind him in 7th place, up 20 spots from the start. So great race for him so far. RC Anderson recovering from his early incident. He's up there in 8th with Josh Adams and Tyler Fody rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, Fody, who had that off-track excursion that I believe did not trigger a yellow flag.
Yeah,
rebounded here.
it did not. It was a little contact with his teammate Chris Wright. So we did actually catch that one earlier, where they did get together door to door, sending Fody into the inside.
Oh, yes.
But he was luckily enough, he was able to continue, as now you see Chad Frankenfield chasing down Kwame Scott here, and Tate Lytle getting a little bit of a lead, as he now has 0.6 of a second over Kwame Scott.
Yeah, it looks like the top two, or excuse me, just behind Tate Lytle, those two have lost touch. Maybe Tate Lytle just finding a little bit of speed in that 56 car with a line that he likes, and is starting to drive away from these guys.
The one thing they're going to have to keep in mind here, the second and third place car, Trevor Elam, has crashed in the rear. Caution is out
on the back stretch, and that will bring us under caution for the 9th time.
As we take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened to Trevor Elam here. He is on the inside of that 4 machine of Ryan Schuld. Schuld driving for Little Eagle Racing here. Trevor Elam for Fueled Up. Looks like Trevor just got loose by himself. Goes around.
Might have been a little bit of net code.
Yeah, potentially netcode, Alex. That is something we have to deal with here on the simulator. Comes back up across the track. Oh, Wyatt Canado just... Oh, my God. Good job by Wyatt Canado, Dustin Dewar, and Brent Jones. Wow. I want to see that from Wyatt Canado's point of view. We're going to rewind that, and we're going to go on board with Wyatt. Once again, he is battling illness here tonight, so the fact that he just did that while sick is pretty impressive. So we'll kind of speed this up a little bit, and we'll go.
No, you see some sort of smoke.
You can see Trevor just a moment ago on the bottom. Here he comes back up the track on the left side of Trevor's windshield here, or Wyatt's windshield. Wyatt right here thinks, oh no, oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
What a job by Wyatt Canado.
That definitely, that might be the save of the year, year-ender category award right there.
Absolutely. That was really impressive by Wyatt Canado. Kudos to him for that. That's really impressive, and I'll definitely have to have a chat with him after the race about that one. But as you see there, looks like Josh Adams wins the race off pit road, Alex.
Yes. Some strategy, I would imagine.
I do believe there was some strategy involved there. Josh Adams comes off pit road first, Tate Lytle second, Kwame Scott third, Chad Frankfield now back to fourth with Nick Massey in the top 5 there, Scott Crump in 6th, Zach Rogers 7th, R.C. Anderson 8th, Tyler Fody 9th, and Daniel Martinez in 10th. And that definitely shook things up just a little bit there. And just for me personally, I do want to just take a quick look at my car here. Jonathan Cutlip currently running in the 16th position. So great debut for him so far. He's done a nice job. I've seen him move up and down the standings a little bit, but kudos to him for coming out here with no experience in the series and running in the top half of the field. That's all we ask, and he's done a nice job. But yeah.
He kept all the fenders on it. Still with the potential to avoid a wreck, or so that happens in front. Well, potential to come out of this without any major issues. So a great debut for the rookie.
Absolutely, and you know he's just done a really good job. He's painted so many cars in this field. He's painted this 56 car. I believe he's also painted Daniel Martinez's 33 machine. He is one heck of a painter as well. JD Designs, that is Jonathan Cutlip. He's done a great job, and I'm proud to have him behind the wheel of my number 2 machine here tonight, doing a great job. And my teammate right now, Josh Adams, currently the race leader.
Yeah, and let's go back to strategy on that. We know that the 7 car there just trying to get back on the lead lap there after impacting the wall pretty heavily earlier in the race. But this one car, did he take 2 tires here?
Yeah, we'll definitely have to go back and take a look at his pit time compared to that of Tate Lytle. just to see what he ended up doing for a strategy. Josh Adams. Josh was about 3 seconds quicker on pit road than Tate Lytle. I do wonder if maybe he took 2 tires. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to confirm that, but I do believe he may have taken 2 tires here or less gas.
Or perhaps, but I would imagine we'll see. Nonetheless, though, it has gotten him track position.
Absolutely, and I mean, we do.
Which has been key. We have not seen any green flag pass for the lead here tonight.
Yeah, we might have just had one earlier on when RC Anderson got passed for the lead by Tyler Fody, but if we did, that would have been the only green flag pass for the lead that we've actually seen, which is quite crazy considering we're more than 3/4 of the way through this race with just 37 laps to go. And this one, pace car is off. Alex, we're about to get underway once again, and it's looking cloudy out there.
It is. We'll see what weather conditions might impact as the one car trying to keep his one on the front spot. Entering turn number 1, Tate Lytle right behind him in hot pursuit.
Absolutely, as you do see a side-by-side here for third place, Kwame Scott and Chad Frankenfield. Tate Lytle and Josh Adams having a side-by-side of their own for the lead up there, as Tate Lytle should have the advantage going into turn number 3.
Well, we were just talking about a green flag pass, and there you have it. Tate Lytle.
There it is. That's an official pass for the race lead. Tate Lytle takes it. Now Kwame Scott making a pass here on Josh Adams for second, as Chad Frankenfield may have just made contact with the rear of that number 1 machine. As now you see Scott Crump trying to get into the battle here. This may get interesting as these guys continue to battle.
And as laps begin to wind down, the patience begins to wear out here. You don't want to be boxed in, which is where Chad finds himself in front.
Absolutely. You see Chad here now just about to be under fire by that number 50 machine of RC Anderson. They almost make contact there, as it looks like Chad may have come down a little bit, almost into the contact.
Wide as the one car went up the racetrack.
Things are getting a little sketchy here towards the front, as these guys, like you mentioned, Alex, you just mentioned Patience wearing thin, and I think Patience may have worn out.
Definitely. When Patience wears out, that's usually when we're saying the caution flag is out.
Absolutely. Hopefully we don't see that, but if racing continues as this is right now, we may see it, as Chad Frankenfield does make that pass on Josh Adams, and he will pull RC Anderson with him as well. But up front, it's Tate Lytle with a half a second lead over Kwame Scott, and another 0.3 of a second back to Scott Crump, who continues his quiet ascent up to the front here, now in the 3rd position. As this battle just continues back here, these guys have finally single filed out, but Tyler Fody and Zach Rogers don't want us to have a break here as they go side by side.
Tyler Fody trying to reclaim that track position he desperately lost. He so desperately lost earlier in this race, and doing a good job coming through the field. But Zach is doing a great job hanging tough on that outside lane.
Absolutely. Zach Rogers currently up 18 positions, now under fire from his affiliate in that 33 machine. That is Daniel Martinez. Daniel was up in the 2nd place not too long ago, trying to work his way back up there, as he now finds himself in the 9th spot, chasing down Tyler Fody. As there's actually a side-by-side battle just ahead of them. That got really close between Nick Massey and Josh Adams.
I believe there was some contact there, and Nick Massey out of the gas, gonna lose some momentum and drive as he falls back behind the 40 car. 40 able to get one spot, climb his way up, and continue his assault on the top 5.
Absolutely. And as we look back up front, yellow flag is out. Trevor Elam once again involved in this one, Alex. This is not a good night for Trevor.
It has not been. It's so unfortunate. Our 10th caution of the day, at least the third one.
So we take
That
a
has
look here. We see Trevor Elam. Looks like he just grabbed a bit of the apron right there to get a little loose. We'll see if that, yeah, Trevor's car is just really upset from hitting that apron. And around he goes on the straightaway.
does a great job. The Austin Cindric of he did.
He does
hit the
get that
wall.
inside wall, but this has not been Trevor Elam's night.
It is not.
And I do believe we unfortunately do not have a link with race control here tonight, but that may have been the second tally of the evening for Trevor Elam, and that may end his night. But we'll wait and see. We'll see if he rejoins us at any point. It does look like he's having a bit of a pit stop here, but
Pit stop. So
we'll keep an eye
tell
out
me
for
that he's
sure.
Still in. At least the iRacing officials message has not been delivered yet. We'll see.
Absolutely, as we do right now see Tate Lytle, your current race leader. Just a note for those at home, Josh Adams has come down pit road to get what will be most likely his final set of tires. So Josh Adams, one of the few cars to actually pit from this top group, as the only other one to come down is Shane Terrian. So Josh Adams, Shane Terrian, and then a bunch of the drivers from the rear of the field have come down pit road
I
here.
believe this is the strategy to make it on fuel as well too. Those guys will know. We know. I think some of these guys. I don't know. You see Michael Goodman get back on the lead lap here. Some of the top people. I don't know if they pitted. Their last pit stop could have been, I believe, just before we reached halfway.
So most of our top group, actually all of our top group, all the way back to Josh Adams, last pit on lap number 81. So these guys are fairly fresh on their tires, Alex. Only about a 10 to 12 lap difference. That could make a difference when it comes to the end of this thing, though, as Josh Adams will have the fresher rubber.
That's true. And I forgot about that pit stop, which ruins what strategy I was trying to come up in my head.
Absolutely, is like we mentioned, Tate Lytle now your race, or you're still your race leader, with Kwame Scott in second, Scott Crump back there in third, Chad Frankenfield fourth, RC Anderson back into the top five here. Alex, what a jump up for him from his earlier incidents.
As well, both RC and Kwame Scott doing a great job after bringing out our second caution of the day for some pretty significant contact.
Absolutely, we saw Kwame Scott up in the air with his earlier incident. Another guy that's worked his way back up here is Tyler Fody, as well as Nick Massey and Daniel Martinez. So these guys all working their way back up after earlier incidents, doing a great job here inside the top 10 late in this thing, with Zach Rogers and Chris Wright rounding out the top 10. And just outside the top 10 here late in the going, we do have Andrew Rucker in that 64 machine. We haven't really talked about him much tonight, but he's having a good run, with Johnny Thomas in 12th, Jonathan Cutlip in 13th, Ryan Schulden in 14th, and this guy right here, Brent Jones. Just a few moments ago, we saw him have to sneak by Trevor Elam on the back straightaway along with Wyatt Canadle.
Yeah.
And they did a nice job, and he's up in 15th with Wyatt Canadle just behind him. So these guys are doing a great job.
Yep, Wyatt just grinded it through. He'll have a lot to talk about, though.
Absolutely. He usually does, Alex. He usually does. As the lights are off on the pace car, Tate Lytle taking that high line once again. He'll line up with Chad Frankenfield directly behind him on this restart, while Kwame Scott will line up with Scott Crump.
Oh my goodness. It's getting down to it. 25 to go. This is normally where we the counter takes over. Who do you like? Who do you think wins? Here, Robert.
You know what? I made this race pick before we got started tonight. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go with Kwame Scott in that number 95 machine. He had impact with the wall earlier on, and I thought he was down and out, and he has bounced back. He's in second place right now, and he is looking strong. Watch for that number 95 machine to take victory 25 laps from now, Alex.
I think it's going to be that 56 car. Tate Lytle trying to earn his first win. He's going to get an assist from the 15. No, he will not. 15 did not get going. As
you know what?
Back away here.
That's definitely a great pick, taking Tate Lytle. Tate is so strong on all the racetracks that we go to, and continues to show his muscle tonight up there in the lead by 3/10 over Kwame Scott just early on this restart.
Doing a good job so far. Front three trying to get away. Side by side, though briefly, Scott Crump, it looked like, with R.C. Anderson.
Absolutely. These guys have all sort of single filed out here. Our first double file is back here. Zach Rogers currently side by side with Nick Massey and Johnny Thomas here, working their way up into that top 10. These guys are doing a great job here, as it looks like they will go by Bronson Stafford. Bronson just left pit road just a moment ago, and he looks like he's coming back down pit road here. So rough night for my fellow Canadian, Bronson Stafford.
Unfortunate, but fortunately for us, we stay under the green flag.
Absolutely. As Tate Lytle does continue to lead under that green flag, with Kwame Scott trying to chase him down here, maintaining a 3/10 gap between first and second currently. Kwame's going to do whatever he can to try to work his way back up there.
We've not had a long green flag run, really. I believe the shortest or the longest run of the night that we've had has been about...
I think we have a big wreck.
Big crash. Turn 4, Calamity Corner again, and then more pile in.
I'm going to say right now that was definitely a 10-car pile up.
Wow.
Wow. So we use a system called SDK to do our broadcasts here, and when something happens, when there's an incident, it lights up red. Just about everybody's name has lit up red in this incident, Alex. So we will take a blimp view on this one. Looks like we're going to have to start back with Scott Crump.
Wow. Crump was running in the
There
fifth.
you go. It looks like it started right there, side by side. Scott Crump and Nick Massey get together, and we will have to quickly jump out to our blimp view and watch everyone else just get into this wreck.
Oh.
Chris Wright makes it through. Wow, my car just made it through. Jonathan Cutlip did a heck of a job there. Look at this.
That is... It's been a while since I've seen one that took out that many people.
That is crazy.
Car wreck out of turn 4. So Chris Wright, I did my hat to you. He saw the future.
Absolutely. I do want to actually go on board with Jonathan Cutlip on board of my number 2 machine, because he looked like he had a heck of a view through this thing. As you can see, the wreck starts right up there. As you can see, Scott Crump and Nick Massey getting together. He hits the brakes here behind Zach Rogers. Does a nice job avoiding it. Cars going everywhere.
Wow.
Tyler Fody coming back up.
Wow.
Dan Martinez coming back up.
My goodness, there were 4 or 5 people he had to dodge.
What a great job by Jonathan Cutlip, as well as Zach Rogers. Will actually go on board with him as well. He was right ahead of Jonathan Cutlip through this, so he would have had an even better view. I'm impressed.
Being able to read a wreck, and that is, in real life, that is crazy to do. And know that you need to do, I got to do this position.
Wow.
To put yourself out of harm's way, and he did a great job reading what was going around him.
That is quite the dodge by quite a few of these guys. But this changes things up big time up here, as we have a lot more damaged cars. as our new top 10 here, Alex, with just 20 to go. Tate Lytle, Kwame Scott, Chad Frankenfield continue to lead this thing. RC Anderson now up to 4th, with Johnny Thomas in 5th. Johnny's done a heck of a job, been real quiet all night, and he's up in 5th. Zach Rogers, we just watched him dodge that wreck, up in 6th. Andrew Rucker in 7th. Hunter Smith in 8th. Nick Massey in 9th. And Jonathan Cutlip up there in 10th in my car there. But these guys are doing a heck of a job. David Tooker rebounding from his earlier incident. He's up in 12th. We actually jumped over Ryan Gavel there. He's had his own fair share of incidents.
Yeah.
In 11th. Absolutely. Trey Holmes, we've seen him in a few wrecks. Chris Wright told us about an incident they had. He's in 13th. Josh Adams in 14th. And Shane Terry in 15th. And actually just behind them is Joey Chapman, who we've seen around multiple times tonight.
Yeah. But not heavily damaged. So it looks like Tate Lytle will elect to start once again on the outside lane. And I wanted to go real quick. Who was the freshest on tires?
The freshest tires currently in the field would be all the way back in 15th position, or my apologies, 14th position in Josh Adams. He pit on lap 92, while the rest of the leaders pit on lap 81.
Alrighty.
So not a huge difference, but
of an advantage here. Track position has been key. Tate Lytle, Kwame Scott, our picks, still very much in control of this race.
Absolutely. Pace car about to make that left-hand turn onto pit road. This will be our 12th start of the race, as we are in caution number 11. Pace car's off. Tate Lytle will lead us to the green once again.
Here they go. Green flag in the air. We are back to racing. 18 to go here in the Pit Pass Network 150.
Hey, Lytle got a nice jump there, but so did Kwame Scott. Kwame actually once again falling back into that 3/10 difference between Tate Lytle and Kwame Scott, as RC Anderson actually moves up into the 3rd position now. So RC continuing his ascent through the field as he wants to get back in on the action here. Caution's back out.
Back out once more. It just might be a survival at this point.
Absolutely. We'll take a quick look at what happened here. I am seeing, looks like an incident maybe involving Jesse Rasmus on the backstretch here. Couple slow cars behind them. Hodges. Oh!
Yes. I had no idea who that was on the outside.
Back that up. Jesse just comes right up across the 81 of Alexander Gray.
I have to wonder that he just did not know that he was not clear.
Yeah, there's definitely good potential that he was not aware of Alexander Gray being on his outside there, but that was definitely a big incident there, as we are under caution number 12, Alex. While we are under this caution, let's give one final shout out here to our premier partners, starting with TA Services. And TA Services for over 36 years have been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing, and fulfillment, as well as cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. Let the TA Services team make ship happen. Blue Egg Marketing is a great partner of ours as well. Blue Egg Marketing is the marketing department for small businesses, here to help businesses punch above their weight class. And our newest premier partner is Brixi Cam. Brixi is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. Gone are the days of carrying around a tripod or selfie stick. They help their customers and users tell better stories around meaningful moments. They let anyone tap into nearby cameras to capture group memories at iconic places, as if users were controlling their own native camera app. Except now, from a perfectly positioned vantage point. Today, you can find Brixi at well-known sports venues and cultural landmarks across 4 continents. As well, Alex, we definitely have to shout out Pit Pass Network coming on board to present this race tonight, as well as a handful of races across all 3 elite main series. Pit Pass Network is your new home for all things NASCAR, from Q&As to driver interviews with Chris Wright, as well as in-depth coverage of all NASCAR series. PitPassNetwork.com is the place to go. Alex, 15 laps remaining here at World Wide Technology Raceway, formerly known as Gateway, and Tate Lytle continues to lead over Kwame Scott, but RC Anderson, he's fighting back.
Yeah, and impressive considering that 95 and 50 car. RC Anderson right behind him, involved in our second caution after being spun on the front stretch here.
Absolutely, he's had his fair share of incidents tonight, but I think the professional driver that is RC Anderson is really showing what he can do to stick with it and just fight through. And he's going to work his way back up here to a solid finish, most likely, barring any late incidents. But heck of a drive by RC Anderson.
Definitely. These caution flags, though, even minor, chip away at a chance to catch our leader, though.
Absolutely. Every single caution takes away more and more of those very valuable green flag laps. Every moment that you have to work your way forward, charge towards that front is a great moment for everybody. And every caution you get just really limits you on what you can do, unless you're willing to just fully send it on these restarts, which, I mean, that's just going to bring out more yellow, so it's not worth it.
Yeah. Not at all, but we'll see what happens here.
One thing you're going to have to keep an eye on here, Tate Lytle has taken the inside line on this restart, which we have not seen too much of at all tonight by him. But I think
guessing. I like that.
Absolutely, but I think the big reason for that is this right here, that front bumper of his teammate, RC Anderson. I think he's planning on working with RC, trying to get RC by Kwame Scott, so they can duke it out side by side together coming down to these final 13 laps.
Ooh. Does anybody really have a teammate, though, with 14 to go?
I mean, yes and no. As pace car's off here, it's going to be interesting to see if they do use that teammate strategy to try to benefit from it. Tate Lytle grabs that loud pedal.
He was able to perhaps allow that 50 car the acknowledgement he needed, and he will get past the 95, who's now under assault from the 15 of Chad Frankenfield.
Absolutely. You take a look back here. That is RC Anderson with Kwame Scott, who's now under fire, like you mentioned, from Chad Frankenfield. Just behind them is Hunter Smith. And we have another battle here of 21 Savage teammates, Zach Rogers and Jonathan Cutlip, for that 6th position. But Tate Lytle's looking real good here late in the going here at Gateway, as this is a nice little battle back here. These guys are all side by side.
Oh, Johnny Thomas, though, out of the groove.
As we have a wreck. Looks like Andrew Rucker.
Yes. Oh, and another one with a pretty significant hit into the outside angled barrier there.
Yeah, we'll take a look here on the Whiskey Cast replay. Andrew Rucker looks like he's on a mission here. See if we can grab that caution. Looked like a side-by-side gone wrong between Andrew Rucker and Johnny Thomas. Take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay.
Thomas had an issue entering the corner.
Yeah, Johnny Thomas had contact from Ryan Gavel. They were 3 wide. Yeah, this was just unfortunate. Here, Johnny stuck in the outside wall. Really nowhere for Rucker to go, as he's already kind of committed to that exit, and they get together. Looks like they're going to push down into that angle wall.
Man.
Oh, Trey Holmes.
Yes, that was who I saw.
Trey Holmes and Scott Crump. Let's back that up a little bit and see how those two got involved.
Ooh, just in the way. Oh, and that was that hard hit I saw.
Yeah, good catch on that one, Alex. I actually didn't see that originally, but that is heavy damage for Trey Holmes and as well the number 90 machine of Scott Crump. But we will be under 10 laps to go here when we go green once again. Tate Lytle continues to lead, but now he's going to have RC Anderson side by side with him here. And RC on the front row may be able to get a better advantage.
When your teammate becomes your foe, we'll see what happens here. I believe there was a little bit of communication between them that last restart. Don't know if that same communication will work this time around.
Yeah, I don't know that there's going to be much communicating on this restart as they're side by side. I think Tate might keep him guessing a little bit here.
Kwame Scott back to the third position there, Frankenfield. And how about Hunter Smith?
Yeah, that's one guy we really haven't talked much about tonight whatsoever. And Hunter Smith now finds himself in the top 5 really late in the going here.
Doing a great job, as well as that 12th car.
Absolutely,
And,
Zach
your
Rogers. And like you said, my car here, Jonathan Cutlip, his first elite start, up 7 spots from his qualifying position up here in 7th. And right behind him as well, Ryan Gavel up 28 spots from his starting spot with heavy nose damage. He's in 8th position, so good job by him. And just kind of looking throughout the field, a couple guys having rather notable runs for them. I mean, Justin Vandermeer, he's up 4 spots, but he's had a rough season, so any decent finish you can get is always solid. And got to give a shout out to Wyatt Canedo as well. You know, this guy, he's been in a few incidents tonight, but when I talked to him before this race, he sounded really sick. I mean, he did not sound good whatsoever, and he's toughed it out for 111 laps so far, and he's going to stick it out for the last 9, so kudos to him for that.
Hopefully these last 9 go by quickly for him in order to get back to feeling better.
Absolutely. I mean, a good finish would definitely help. Definitely not all the medicine he needs, that's for sure, but it should put a little bit of a smile on his face if he's able to get a half decent finish here. And as we look from Tate Lytle's car, I do believe the lights are off on the pace car. We should be going green with about 7 laps to go. Tate's going to take the high side once again, which means he'll be starting right in front of Chad Frankenfield.
I don't know about that communication we were talking about, if it will transpire this time around.
I definitely don't think so, especially with Tate taking the high side here, because he's going to want that inside into turn number 1. So he's going to do whatever he can to get by his teammate RC Anderson here to take that advantage and hopefully, for Tate's sake, control the end of this race. But you know, Chad's going to be hungry right behind them as well. He was really strong early on, as was Kwame Scott. So we have a lot of strong cars at the front here, ready to fight it out and ready to see who can take home the checkered flag here with 7 laps to go when we go green.
All right, so this 56 car going to be in control of this race. Seven to go. Have we seen the last yellow flag? Tate Lytle gets it going. RC Anderson does not.
Yeah, slow start there for RC, like you mentioned. But here he comes back. He's looks like it bit, and he's ready to pounce.
Maybe it was just enough. Maybe we don't know what we're talking about. That's what RC Anderson just said to us right there. He's heading for the lead. Kwame Scott taking a look underneath Frankenfield there in turn 3.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, Kwame Scott making a move to the inside of Chad Frankenfield for that 3rd position.
Oh, we got a crash front straightaway there. in the back of the pack. And caution is out. More slide
Zach
into it.
Rogers.
Oh, no. What was a good run.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
that was Alex. That was like 10 minutes later.
Where was he going? What was happening?
I
would imagine there
I'm
will be
dumbfounded.
a penalty later on for that.
So as we take a look at this, looks like it started with Dustin Dewar had a wreck, which may have actually been what brought out the caution flag here, as he goes around. Multiple incidents on this one here, so this will be a while. Looks like he gets up into Brent Jones. Brent was having a great run. Hossack into the side of Jones. I think Hossack may have gotten into Zach Rogers later on too.
Yes.
So that's incident number one. That may have actually been what brought out the yellow. We'll take a look at Zach Rogers.
That is what brought out the yellow on the front stretch. But yeah, let's see what happened to the 12 car here.
Taking a look at Rogers. You see him in that number 12 crew chief's corner Chevrolet for 21 Savage. It just snaps. It just absolutely snaps. Gavel gets into him. And then we'll actually go blimp view because I want to see these cars that pile into it. I don't even see the 70 machine yet in this picture. All of these guys make it through. Absolutely perfect. Here comes Hodges to the outside.
This is very, very late.
The 70 is just getting into the picture now. And he drives straight into Zach Rogers.
Didn't know that.
Michael Hossack nowhere to go, but that was extremely late.
It was extremely late. He was not expecting a car there, but caution was definitely out. He should have been slowing down.
I mean, caution was long out there, Alex. That was eek. That was not good, as it looks like we may be going to a green white checkered here as Josh Hodges gets the wave around here. Tate Lytle currently leads over RC Anderson, Chad Frankenfield, Kwame Scott, and Hunter Smith top 5. Gavel, Cutlip, Terrian, Tooker, and Adams the top 10. And yeah, this should be one of our green white checkered attempts here.
Yes. I believe it will if we don't go. It might be a natural green white checker.
Yeah, if we do get the lights off on the pace car this time, which I believe we may, that should lead us to a natural green white checkered, but only if those lights come off this time by.
See what happens here. No,
so this will be official Elite Racing League join APS.com overtime.
That is a mouth.
Absolutely. As
you gotta shorten that down.
You know, I'm devastated for Zach Rogers in that number 12 car. Yeah. He was having such a good run and it just snapped, and unfortunate for him. That's going to relegate him to a finish potentially outside the top 30.
Especially with the caution already out too when he had his problem.
Yeah, because he most likely would have been okay to continue until that heavy impact with the 70 of Jesse Rasmus. And
oh yeah,
I'm interested in seeing what the call is on that. I mean, it's potential that maybe Jesse wasn't drawing enough cars due to graphics or something, and it didn't pull Zach right until he was right there. That does happen from time to time, but it'll be definitely interesting to hear what happened on that wreck. But it looks like lights may come off on the pace car this time, leading into our first overtime attempt.
Yes. And we have up to 3. But no one's been able to get around this 56 car once he took the lead. The only green flag televised pass that we saw.
Absolutely, as Tate Lytle takes the inside on this time, on this restart, with RC on the outside. So Tate changing it up a little bit as we go from restart to restart here. Just trying to keep things fresh, keep a new opportunity for himself here, as the pace car should be making that turn onto pit road here just in a few moments with 2 laps remaining in this one. I think the intensity level is going to be through the roof. I genuinely do not think that we are done wrecking at this point, Alex.
All right. 56 Tate Lytle looking for that first win, the defending series champ. Going to elect to start on the inside. I believe that offers him more protection. He'll find himself on the outskirts of another driver's mistake. Should the 50 have one. For this, our first attempt at a green-white checker.
What a great jump by RC.
Yes. That was a good jump. He did not keep pace, though. And I have to wonder if that was to make sure he does not, well, to be honest, I don't know why. He would lay off, but...
Yeah. Oh, Chad.
Way up the racetrack, they're 3 wide.
3 wide.
Ryan Gavel out of it as we face the white flag. This
White
will
flag.
be the final lap.
Next flag ends it here, Alex.
Tate Lytle doing all he can in front of his teammate RC Anderson. Down the backstretch for the final time. The Pit Pass Network 150. Tate Lytle, the defending series champ, looking for his first W 2022 Season B. It's gonna happen. The World Wide Technology Raceway. Oh, big crash behind him, but Tate Lytle wins it here at Gateway.
Tate Lytle takes it over RC Anderson. Kwame Scott comes back for a 3rd place finish with Chad Frankenfield 4th. Shane Terry in 5th. And the rookie, Jonathan Cutlip, comes home in 6th. What a great day for my car. Probably the best performance of the season for that machine. with Josh Adams, Ryan Gavel, David Tooker, and Nick Massey running at the top
hit
10.
The wall right behind when the leaders were in turn 4. It may have been Shade. He may have been able to limp it home, but somebody hit the wall pretty significantly.
It may have been Shane Terrian. Let's take a look.
This is down the back stretch. Pretty heavy block right there by the 15.
Oh, Hunter Smith.
Hunter Smith impact, and that is he was up there. Yes,
Hunter Smith was actually in 4th, yeah. And you know what, Alex? He came home 28th.
Oh,
watch that 17 machine right here. Outside wall, inside wall, loses every single spot. He finishes just ahead of Zach Rogers, who has not been on the track for a while. Look at this guy right here, Tate Lytle. He took the victory here tonight. He is doing a Polish victory lap.
excellent job. Good to see the defending champ back in victory lane. First W of the season. Crow Edge Racing celebrating here tonight.
Absolutely. Big victory for Tate Lytle. His first of the season. Tate has worked so hard for this, and I think he's going to be excited.
Oh, yeah. This is definitely going to be a party at his house.
Absolutely. I just hope we're invited, Alex. That's just my goal here, as we will work to get our top 3 into the waiting room for their interviews.
Leave you with some pictures while we get our top interviewees.
Does look like we do have them already here. So we will go ahead and bring Kwame Scott, our 3rd place finisher, into the interview room for an interview here with Alex.
Alrighty. Kwame, been able to talk to you for the first or second time in a week. You're doing a great job back in the booth in third place this time, not the win, but I'm pretty sure you're pretty happy to be talking to us, considering that car was at one point backwards on the front stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. Like, there's no way I should have been able to continue the race. I think I have a concussion, but the car was fine. So I don't know how my car was still intact after that. I think I only had like 30 seconds of damage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I just pitted and it was good to go.
Well, how was the race from your vantage point here today?
I mean, it was fun. Getting after I got wrecked and I had to drive back up to the field. That was fun. That was cool. We had some nice, some good runs there. But toward the end, I definitely felt like I had something for Tate, but we just kept being back-to-back cautions, and I just wasn't really able to battle him. And those runs that did go a few laps, they only went about 5 or 6 before another caution, and I would reel him in just ever so slightly, and I just never had enough time to like make a move. So it was a little frustrating, but nonetheless, I think I finished second actually because RC got a penalty. So.
Oh, for
yeah.
what?
Jumping the start there, that last restart.
Oh, well, that would be why we saw him back off.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what the admins are gonna do about that, but yeah, that's the thing.
Oh, well, I like the quick hot change there.
Absolutely, yeah. That's
want to give you a chance to shout out anything and anyone you'd like.
Yeah. Shout out to my team, Belly Up Racing, all my sponsors, HRR, 213 Simware, my esports team, Nexus, my teammates and my Erskine teammates in RRM. Yeah, I never really know what to say on these shout outs. I gotta like make a list or something. I just like spout nonsense, but.
All right, so that was Kwame, possibly a second place finisher. We have unconfirmed results. As we'll get Chad, who was in third.
Maybe we'll move Chad down here and see what he did.
Chad,
how's it going?
It's going good, my friend. It's great to hear you.
Yeah, I'm not used to doing these recently, so.
Well, we want to ask about that because we want to know about this restart here. Could you walk us through what happened with the 50 car?
I guess he jumped the start. I'm not sure exactly what happened on his end. I think because they're teammates, they were kind of coordinating that, which they do in real life. And I guess he jumped the start, and that was that. He didn't fight it or anything. He knew it was on him, and I guess we finished third now. I'll take it.
Well, you had a good run here today. At one point, you looked like the track position was key, but you got beat out on pit road by that 56 car. What did you need more out of your car in order to grab the win?
I needed a long run. That's really what it came down to. Anytime we would get into that 8 to 10 lap span, I was able to start closing the gap back up on these guys. But unfortunately, because of the short runs, I just didn't have enough there to do it. But it honestly, coming into tonight, I was completely out of it. Practice, I was struggling, and I made some quick adjustments with the steering rack and some of the brake bias stuff, and it helped phenomenally. I mean, I think if I would have been able to stay out in front of Tate there and not miss my box by like an inch, I think I might have been able to win the race just because of how the restarts played out. So, but it is what it is. You can't really make a mistake in this series. I mean, one mistake and that's it. You're not going to get anything out of it.
Unfortunate there on pit road, but like you mentioned, though, it had a chance to really talk to us. I mean, this could be the momentum you need to get back to victory lane. How do you view this a good finish?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're second in points. I'm having one of my best points this season since season 1. It just comes down to closing out races and being in the right spot. That's really what it comes down to with this series. I mean, it's like I said, it's so challenging to run up front consistently. It just, like I said, it's tough, but just gotta keep moving forward.
All right, we'll want to give you the chance to shout out anyone and anything you'd like. Guess the league owner comes with some benefits.
Yeah, I want to thank Kicking the Tires for coming on board. JoinAPS.com, our Cup Series, Blue Egg Marketing, Brixi Cam, TA Services. I want to thank you guys, Robert, stepping up tonight, helping us out big time. We were short a producer tonight, so for him stepping up, I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the guys on the network, Dave Huckleberry, Rishoff, Kozla. And honestly, it's so awesome to have you back, Alex. We were all praying for you and just glad that you seem to be getting a little bit back to normal here. And tons of us are, I don't know, you're not in our Twitter chat, but everybody just is like, oh, I'm so happy Alex is back. And hopefully you can get back to the racetrack soon, because I know it's probably stinging you more than anything else. But
yeah, I do miss my job. I miss it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you'll get back there. Don't worry. Just keep on digging. And I appreciate you, helping us out here on Wednesday nights. And like I said, nobody knows us better than you. So I'm just glad you're back.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you guys.
All right, so that's Chad Frickenfield, third place finish here tonight. And that just leaves the one and only our winner.
Absolutely. We'll bring down our winner, Tate Lytle.
Tate Lytle, the celebration has got to be loud. You're a winner for the first time 2022 Season B. And I get to talk to an old friend there. How did you get the 56 car in Victory Lane?
Before I get started, Alex, I just want to say it is so nice to hear your voice again, man. I was obviously, probably like you and everyone else, was worried sick there for you for a while, and it's just nice to see your name in Discord again and hear your voice. But yeah, it was an eventful race. I had a horrible qualifying run. I wrecked it on both laps pretty much and started 33rd, and I don't know, I feel like I didn't really make too many passes and just kind of found myself up there. Kind of hit it right on the pit strategy, missed a wreck that otherwise, it took a couple guys out, missed it and gained quite a few spots, and then was able with those fresher tires there in the middle of the race, about lap 50, to kind of get some track position. And the way the race worked out after that, I never really had to do much of a run other than maybe like a 10 or 12 lap run, and I felt like we were just good enough to hold off those guys. RC and Kwame, I think, kind of had another gear tonight, but with the 2-lap shootout there at the end, I knew that as long as I didn't make a mistake, they weren't going to be able to do anything with me. But it's nice to be back in Victory Lane. It's been, I don't know how long it's been, but it feels like a long time. It's kind of been a rough start to the year. So hopefully this can get us back on track and try and go for the 3-peat. But shout out to Brent Wentz, Days Gone By. Haven't shouted him out in a while. Kind of got in the habit there for a while. We had a nice little hot streak, and it's kind of gone cold lately. So shout out to Brent Wentz, Days Gone By. Shout out to I don't think mom or dad's watching tonight, but if for whatever reason they are, shout out to y'all. And shout out to you guys for watching us do this, and obviously shout out to you, Alex, for fighting through what you fought through and getting back up here in the booth.
Oh, thank you very much. And well, you put on one heck of a show. I wanted to know personally, but was there any communication between you and RC Anderson there, those final couple of restarts?
Apparently too much, because he jumped the restart there on the last restart. He's like, you counted too slow. I was like, I think I counted the same I've always ever counted. 3, 2, 1, go. And he jumped it, but yeah, it kind of stinks. He got put back at 28th. I think he's needing some points too, but at least one of us was still able to get in Victory Lane. It's been a long time coming, so especially after starting 33rd. I mean, at Gateway of all places, I didn't think it would happen tonight, but glad it did.
Yeah, I was going to say it was quite the uphill battle from the start for you.
Yeah, we climbed the hill fast though. It was I mean, it just kind of all worked out. It's been a while since that happened, and it just kind of all worked out.
We noticed there was one race you won on pit road that really kind of changed the dynamic of the race and getting you the track position, keeping you up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think who did I come in behind? Chad, and he had a really bad stop. I beat him by quite a bit. So yeah, that kind of gave us the control of the race. And you hear those big guys up in the top ranks of NASCAR saying once they get control of the race, they feel like they should win it. And
Yeah,
kind of the outlook I took. And that's before I didn't think RC and Kwame were even competitive at that point. I was like, okay, I mean, I got to beat Chad and maybe Shane and a few other guys. I felt like I had most of the rest of the field covered on pace. But I mean, with this car and with how squirrely it was getting off of turn 2, you can't really count your ducks until you're home free, because it was. I mean, you saw some of the best guys in Elite. You saw Kwame. This is just guys I saw. I don't know if you guys saw, but I saw Kwame, Chad, Fody. I mean, these guys were getting loose off of 2, and it's like, man, it's obviously pretty easy. So you got to be pretty mindful going through there.
Yeah, it was definitely it looked skirmish out there for you guys, especially on turn 2. We saw the oh my goodness, the oh crap moments from a lot of those names that you mentioned there earlier. But I was gonna ask my final question, which is gonna give you the chance to shout anyone anything you'd like.
Well, a shout out, days gone by, parents. I just want to give one more shout out to you, man. It's I know, and shout out to all the people that helped out with that too. I don't know if it's still active, but there's a GoFundMe for Alex. I don't know if people know exactly what happened. I don't really know if I know exactly what happened, but Alex, he's a fighter and he's been fighting hard the last 2 or 3 months or so. And if anyone's still listening, please take the time and help this man out. He's one of the best, one of the nicest, and he deserves the world. So just appreciate you coming back and watching us race these fake race cars again. And it's like I said, it's just nice to hear your voice. Bobby, I didn't hear your voice once, which is good, but
Hi, Tate.
but yeah, it's just nice to see you, nice to hear you. I hope everything's going according to plan right now. I haven't seen any updates lately, but just know we're all thinking about you. We're all pulling for you. So
I'll be posting an update there soon. I know you guys a lot of people are wanting to know, and I felt so loved. That's the one thing. I felt so much love from so many people. I had no idea. So this has been a life-changing experience. I'm still working on getting through, but I'm definitely happy to be right back and interviewing you there, buddy. The old champ.
Yeah, I mean, life's an uphill battle, man. So just keep climbing the hill, and I mean, we're all on your team. And if I know we're obviously a couple thousand miles apart, but if there's ever anything that we can do as a community, you just let us know, because I've seen it before and I'll see it again. We come together for the people we love, and you're one of them, man. So shout out to you. Shout out to Days Gone By. It's nice to be in Victory Lane. Nice to hear your voice again, and we'll hopefully be talking to you guys more often in the near future.
All right, that's Tate Lytle, winner of tonight's Pit Pass Network 150. What a good race here.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex.
It was a good race.
It definitely was a good race, and we'll just pull up the final results of the session here tonight. Obviously, as we found out, Percy Anderson ended up with a bit of a penalty there, so that changes things up a little bit. As you can see on the final results here, Tate Lytle was your winner, Kwame Scott second, Chad Frankenfield third, Shane Terry in fourth, Jonathan Cutlip behind the wheel, my number 2 machine, in fifth, Josh Adams in sixth, Ryan Gavel seventh, David Tucker eighth, Nick Massey ninth, and Johnny Thomas 10th. And a shout out to our buddy Chris Wright in 11th. And actually, just taking a look at this right here, shout out to my teammate Justin Vandermeer, 13th place. I think that's by far his best cup finish and one that he worked hard for. So kudos to him as we let the rest of our results slide on by. As you see, RC Anderson there in 28th position. Tough luck for him. But Alex,
Yeah.
what a night here at Gateway. These guys put on a show for us.
It kept us guessing. I like a good race like this because you did not know what was going to happen next. You know, we talked about some of the short runs, and there was a pretty long run there that allowed this 56 car, after starting 33rd the night, the ability to run through the field. So
absolutely, and
it was well earned.
Tate earned it. Absolutely, you got that one right, Alex.
Alrighty. Well, I believe that about does it for tonight, Wednesday night, the Join APS.com Cup Series. Another one is in the books, World Wide Technology Raceway. Congratulations to Tate Lytle, winner, tonight's Pit Pass Network 150. And so long from Gateway.